Welcome to a 2v2 on Samoski Winter. This game is Lumpy and 40 Cake versus Zjzjulinda and Manrekk. It's going to be partisans chosen immediately. Double Soviets, actually, double Soviets with urban defense, defensive tactics, and industry. So that's a pretty... Oh no, armored assault. God, there's so many very similar looking Soviet commanders. Armored assault, urban defense, and Soviet industry, and partisans. I'll bet partisans and urban defense could be a pretty master troll composition. Maybe that's what we're gonna see this game. Zjzjulinda, I'm just gonna call this person Linda, has chosen Spearhead, and Manrekk has gone Mechanized Assault. So, that's kind of a interesting composition, pretty standard. I think Assault Grenadiers should theoretically help, although clearly that engagement could have gone better. Forced a retreat on both sides, so... I guess weakening the Soviet push for the initial central village helps buy time, but two penal battalions are taking control of everything here in the north. Is the music off? Yeah, music is still off. Oops. And, just kind of hovering, though. So both munitions points look like they will go to the Soviets, with Oster spending a lot of early manpower on luxury items that I don't honestly think that's a very good idea, but bunker and munitions cache. Munitions too, of all things, rather than fuel. Not that, you know what, that's not even a bad call. Oster really benefits from munitions. They really do, so sure. Sure. Get 5 more munitions coming in per minute. But yeah, having that much less manpower is going to be rough. MG42 facing towards the church right here. Grenadiers set up behind the cemetery. MG's already got a retreat, and there's the partisans already coming out. That's 1 CP hit for Lumpy. Deploys SBT partisans out of this building. Force that machine gun to retreat that much earlier. And Grenadiers are going to push away some conscripts here in the middle. And another MG in the building is getting flamed out by combat engineers, so actually this bunker is going to save the day. Look at that. I mean, the machine gun still has to retreat, but it'll at least force retreats in return, so that's something. The assault grenadiers are swarming this building up here. Against SBT squad, they seem to be doing pretty okay. Partisans not going to be able to hold the line against this. Do minor damage, but nothing super impressive. He just popped sprint for some reason, but then held still for the entire duration of the ability. Kind of tanking a Molotov a little bit. Conscripts might go down, though. They do. Assault Grenadiers might also go down in return, so... Wow, that sniped, though. Did you see that? Holy crap, those pyos went down so quick. Alright. Assault Grenadiers do have to retreat from these conscripts. They're not able to win that engagement. Bunker gets interrupted by Penal Battalion in the retreat path. That squad gets away. No crit. And those pyos will get away as well. Meanwhile, here in the north, pyos are taking control of the munitions and victory points. Also, where are your clan tags? If you're in a clan together, the replay is called WGL Win Hype, but I don't think it counts as a WGL win if you don't sport clan tags. I don't buy it. It's cheating. Satchel charge into the green cover position right there, I guess. Okay. There's no green cover there anymore. So that's a mortar half-track fielded also by Linda.
We now have access to mortar half-tracks for mobile indirect fire. Production upgrade accomplished.
Lots of Oster infantry trying to retake control slightly of the central village here, and partisans are making their way back out of the Soviet base. Gonna take control of the VP up here in the north, and Penal Battalion taking control of the victory or fuel point right there. It looks like the engagement's kind of going in favor of the Oster a little bit. Machine guns trying to force the issue, trying to force these retreats. So far, the Penal Battalions are actually at very low health, but still have have a lot of squad members remaining. They're just going to stick around a little bit longer to get the victory point captured, and a triple cap's going to be set up by the partisans here in the north again and get pressure on the Oster again. This mortar hasn't done anything too dramatic yet, but this is kind of asking for it. Oh! So close, but no cigar. Conscripts are going to retreat. Machine guns should be able to move up ever so slightly. Linda is floating a lot. Linda has built basically nothing but bunkers for whatever. Really? On the ice? That's kind of a weird placement. I mean, yeah, I guess it'll protect against overly aggressive infantry, but not sure what I think about that. I'm drinking coffee. But it's decaf. I switched to decaf. Yeah, close but no cigar. That's kind of an old phrase. That's not something people say anymore. I don't know why that just popped into my head. It's because I'm making a conscious effort to introduce variations into my speech patterns, because I use the same idioms very repeatedly, and that's a habit I fall into, and I'm trying to spice up my casting. It's hard. It's hard to come up with different words every single time. But yeah, it looks like the Oster are experiencing some success. Doing okay. Mechanized assault group fielded by Manrekk. He managed to push a few squads back into the base. Penal battalions upgrading with flamethrowers now. There's 3 on the field in addition to 2 partisan squads. I don't know if there have been any wipes this game for the Soviets. In fact, for either side, now that I'm thinking about it. Okay, oh yeah, assault grenadiers got wiped, and Pyos. I remember that. Linda hasn't lost anything other than bunkers, but that is pretty significant. A lot of manpower is being spent on bunkers this game, like probably an overinvestment. Especially against penals, which are probably the one Soviet unit that hard counter bunkers. Penal spam and mortar spam, and they're spamming bunkers. This is like the worst thing they could be doing. Penal battalion can just walk up and satchel it. It's a one-shot. Probably the most efficient way to destroy a bunker in the game, now that I can think about it. Well, on par with the paratrooper demo charge, which is also 45 munitions and will also one-shot the bunker.
We have more partisans and irregulars waiting to join the fight. We have a fresh grenadier squad.
Machine gun will go down right there. Small hole in the front line, maybe. So much mortar fire. So much. Double Soviet mortar build right there, plus Oster mortar half-track. Satchel into the building, that's another wipe. Machine gun in there is destroyed. This one is recoverable. If this bunker falls and everything the Axis have fielded here to the middle village is forced to retreat, it could be catastrophic if that machine gun falls into enemy hands and these light vehicles are compromised, but it looks like maybe I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm not entirely sure. I'm convinced those mortars had to retreat. I feel like the 6-man weapon teams maybe could have won that engagement. Depending on Shrek snipes. Those PTRS, that squad definitely did not have to retreat. That was a way premature retreat by both Soviet players right there. I mean, they're not that strong against infantry. They have Panzer Shreks equipped. Feel like Manrekk got a little lucky right there, forcing all those retreats. The bundle grenade was kind of scary, though. Repositioning the mortars away from that was important. Would I ever cast Dawn of War 2? No. Not because I don't like Dawn of War 2, just because I don't know anything about that game. I played it for like 200 hours, I abused Tyranids when they were like super overpowered and got kind of far up the ladder, and then that was pretty much the end of my Dawn of War 2 career.
We're now caught in Model E assault gun, Commander. Grenadiers responding on objective capture. Getting a bit loud here! So much blood! Awaiting orders.
T-34 diving through the smoke. Panzerfaust will damage the engine right in front of an AT gun. It will destroy that half-track, though. I think the smoke from the destroyed half-track... nope. That T-34 is going down for sure. But it does manage to trade both light vehicles in exchange. Probably worth it, honestly, especially since the Soviets are just going to make more T-34s. That is their late game. Well, that's Lumpy's late game. 40K has gone armored assault, so she's going to eventually transition into Collins. But Lumpy is going with tier 4 actually into an Su-76. He's breaking out the skill units this game. So, does anyone else think it's really funny that the Su-76 has heavy crush? It seems so like inappropriate. It's such a light vehicle, but it just goes around blowing up stone walls and stuff all the time. It looks really ridiculous to me. I don't think I've ever seen an Su-76 crush a full squad of infantry. That's something I want to see. Red Wings needs to make that happen. It's not easy though. Mortars bombarding the conscripts over here. That one-man bio squad should probably just retreat. It's gonna be there all day if it's trying to repair that bunker with one man. Su-76 moves to try and help retake the north, while I don't think there are any... Yeah, 40K doesn't have any vehicles out right now after the loss of her T-34. A new half-track fielded, and a new mortar half-track, so apparently Linda's just going hard into light vehicles this game, not wanting to compromise their hold on the center village. But it's costing a lot of fuel and manpower. Meanwhile, Manrekk has fielded the first Zjzjulinda E, so that's gonna, you know, be a good idea, but it's also going to mean quite a while before the first Tiger. Have to have a very dramatic impact with this. I think then as the Su-76 is a pretty decent match for this vehicle. I think in a frontal slugfest the Su-76 will win, right? I could be wrong about that. High explosive barrage coming in. Oh! Oh, that wasn't a wipe. Never mind. I thought that one-shotted a Pio squad. It does clear the AT gun, though. This is so much manpower bleed for Linda here in the middle, which is what happens when you set up a forward reinforce point on a half-track. There's gonna be manpower bleed. You kind of... That's an acceptable risk, but, I feel like it's stacking up pretty high this game. Against the sheer quantity of Soviet indirect fire. This isn't even that great as far as the Soviet indirect fire goes. Su-76 plus standard mortars. I think that might go down. Here it comes. Oh, hit the dirt. Hit the dirt. That is a very lucky Su-76. 3 of 4 anti-tank gunshots failed to kill that Su-76. 1 critted, 1 missed. Oh no, 2 missed. Or 2 of 3, not 3 of 4. 1 critted and 1 missed. So pretty bad RNG during that. Su-76 gets away with main gun destroyed. This bunker creep. This bunker creep just keeps advancing across the map, Zerg style. Just moving up mortars, AT guns, bunkers, and a half-track. Which seems very inefficient to me, but it's getting the job done, surprisingly. These mortars, though, I think, it's just a matter of time before the bleed stacks up. It's too much, and everything gets killed. I mean, these mortars are doing a pretty good job of already wearing down this advance, but they're going to retreat away from the counter mortars, basically. Then The Oster indirect fire is doing a pretty good job of just keeping those mortars from inflicting too much damage, always forcing them to retreat just in the nick of time. Su-85 on the field now for Lumpy, so he's got both his assault gun and his tank destroyer on the field. And no Katyusha! Kind of surprising to see no Katyusha. Maybe they feel they've already got enough indirect fire. Double mortar plus Su-76 is a pretty decent amount. Su-85 is a nice thing to have against a Stug, certainly, so can't fault him for that decision. It will go pretty much uncountered here in the north. There's no AT up here at all, so that Stug should be an easy kill as soon as the Su-85 gets vision. It's using focus sight. Missing at range though. Partisans moving up from the south flank. Needs to charge. I think that Stug should have gone down right there. He just needed to be a little bit more aggressive, a little more bold with the Su-85. And just kind of poking at it from range, keeps hitting the ground. Although it stopped backpedaling. It might go down if it's gonna be that lazy about trying to make its escape. So many bunkers. Mortars need to move up slightly. 40K needs to spread her mortars out a little bit too. Although she did clear that MG, she's very vulnerable to getting hit by counter barrage. Or that. Either way, whatever. Sturmovik strike on the Stug E. Makes some pretty flashy graphical effects. Doesn't do anything other than... Whoa! Panzer IV? Really? Apparently Manrekk has gone tier 3. It's kind of surprising. I guess the Oster have an okay amount of fuel. They've managed to hold on to this point for a little while now, and they've got a fuel cache going up here in the north, so they feel that they can swing tier 3. At least one of them does. Linda still on tier 2. They've both got access to the Tiger later in the game. Linda has spent a ton of fuel on light vehicles, though. There it is. Stugi finally destroyed. Panzer IV makes an extremely wide flank around that Su-85. Not sure it's gonna work. It might. Oh, unless that happens. Phases right through it. Anti-tank Partisans not currently in range to support. The Su-76 is trying to move up to support. Shots on the rear armor of a Panzer IV should penetrate, I believe. Although it's taking anti-tank gunfire from the center, bringing it a little bit low. Su-85 is trying to pull back to safety. AT gun shot on the Su-85 brings it quite dangerously low. Panzer IV is floundering. It looks like the Su-85 is going to get away. Oh my god, he just crossed the ice. Or she just crossed the ice. 40K bringing IS-2 across the river right there. Takes a little bit of AT gun fire, but does not sink, fortunately. It looks like the Su-76 does go down to the Panzer IV before it pulls back to engage against this penal battalion here in the north. Needs to be very careful. There are anti-tank partisans in the general vicinity, but I think it should be able to get back for repairs. Light artillery barrage dropped on that penal battalion. Late reaction, but it will get clear. Barely in time. The IS-2 is already at half health from anti-tank gunfire. Half-track will continue reinforcing those weapons despite mortars bombarding the area.
IS-2 heavy tanks are now available to crush the enemy.
That IS-2 sure does love driving across ice. And exposing its rear armor to anti-tank weapon fire. It's trying to hunt and kill the Panzer IV, which it may have located. It's on a demo charge! Oh my god, did the Soviets really not see this? I guess not. The IS-2 is not going to secure vision of this happening either. This is a disaster waiting to happen, though. I can't believe that Panzer IV is about to get repaired by 2 full squads of pilots on top of a demo. Oh my god. I don't think that's gonna explode. I think that everything there is going to be fine. Which is kind of funny. If they only knew.
Capture complete.
Tier 2 up right there. More anti-tank partisans being fielded. There's the Katyusha. I was waiting for that to hit the field. I knew it was just a matter of time. Lumpy starting it with Su-76, getting a little bit experimental, but he's like, okay, time to make a real unit. Time to make a real unit and start pounding these defenses. Off to a pretty good start. Wow, Sturmovik just killed that half-track. Alright, this one quite low. Both of these extremely low, in fact. Probably low enough that Sturmovik could finish them off if this partisan squad doesn't. Panzerschreck shot sails wide, but they need to get out of there. They're both Vet 2. It'd be a tragedy to lose these just as sitting AFK in front of Panzerschreck fire. Both shots have sailed wide, though. Come on, partisans, you can do it. Alright. Sturmovik finishes it off because the partisans apparently could not.
Our opponents are seizing a sector. We have a fresh half-track at our disposal. A squad of pioneers has arrived.
Enemy action!
Pioneers ready for assignment. We have a forward structure under attack. The enemy has
What are these AT guns you've been doing? Alright, that one just walked into his flamethrower torpedo battalions right there. Panzer IV is fully repaired, moving to support here in the middle, and the IS-2 also fully repaired is going to spearhead a charge into the south, so it looks like should be able to get this territory under control. One of these conscript squads has a PTRS. That's always scary. It's armored assault though. Pretty sure they just recovered it from one of Lumpy's anti-tank partisans. That demo charge remains undetonated. Panzer IV going in on the IS-2. Trying to circle strafe an IS-2 to death. So far it's going kind of okay. It's on the ice. They're both on the ice. This is just RNG battle extraordinaire. That Panzer IV makes it across the river a little bit. Now it's got its rear armor exposed. Sturmovik coming in over here actually, wow, wiped a lot of infantry on the ice right there. Jeez. That Sturmovik strike just kill all of that? I mean, with infantry support, to be fair, that's pretty impressive. Panzer IV has to disengage, drives away from the IS-2. IS-2 is also going to pull back for repairs right there, and a big blob of infantry is making its way through the north to get the victory point under control.
We are losing territory.
There's the first Tiger from Manrekk. Linda will have one out quite soon. Him or herself. I have no idea how to pronounce that. That is a very gender non-specific name. That one has me confused. That one definitely has me confused. Pi was walking into a penal battalion right there and they get wiped. Incendiary mortar being deployed. There's a stolen AT gun over here, and we're actually up to 3 Soviet mortars now. Apparently 40K felt that her indirect fire potential was not sufficient. We'll continue bombarding all units over here. Seems to be going pretty alright, but just keep spamming half-tracks, just more half-tracks into the middle. Every single time one goes down, a new one shows up, and despite the fact that it has significantly delayed this Tiger, they're holding the central village against all odds. Lumpy's vehicle preservation has been pretty okay. Other than losing a Su-76, he still has all of his stuff, and the IS-2 is also still alive, so until a decisive engagement between both teams' tanks occurs, don't think the game is decided, despite the fact that the Oster do have a very strong hold on the map. Here comes a huge push. Infantry and IS-2s on the ice, though. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. 40 cake, why? Wasn't expecting that Tiger to just roll up like that, but the IS-2 will sink beneath the ice. Mark vehicle plus sustained Su-85 fire on that Tiger is bringing it quite low. Mortar half-track has a destroyed engine. Tiger's so close to going down, but it looks like it's going to get clear. Su-85 will be destroyed in exchange by the AT gun right here. But it looks like some of these vehicles might be in danger of being destroyed. Maybe not. That bunker in the back shuts down that partisan's advance. That remaining Su-85 has to pull back to safety. With this mortar half-track having a destroyed engine, cannot escape from freshly deployed partisans moving up to destroy it, I think. Not sure where they're going. Oh, they're trying to finish off the Tiger, I think. How did it get damaged? Something moved behind enemy lines? I don't know. One more shot from anything will destroy that. Su-85 moves back up to take shots, and it will go down to the partisans taking a shot with their Panzerschreck from the south. Okay then. I'm not sure what that Tiger was doing, driving around back in the front line. It looked like it had gotten away clean. Something must have happened back here. Oh, partisans deployed out of this building. Okay. This squad herded that Tiger back into the center. That explains it. Light artillery barrage on 40 Cake's blob of conscripts right there. Will soften it up significantly, plus Panzer IV fire. It's been marked again. There is still an AT gun available for this engagement. There is still an Su-85 available. Apparently this mortar got cleared by incendiary mortar. Up here in the north, Penal Battalion, up against a pretty decent amount of infantry. He's not able to win that engagement. White's the point, but is forced to retreat. Clark will continue taking, or no, not taking, it's stopped. Continues to be stopped against the Soviets. We're going to start struggling a little bit here in the late game against Tigers. Both Oster players have access to Tigers. Linda has now 340 fuel, though. Can't seem to get the manpower together for Tigers because he keeps spending all of his resources on mortar half-tracks, bunkers, and AT guns. Which, like I said before, is kind of working, holding on to a little bit of territory right here, but not really swinging the game in his favor. Needs to get control of the south here. Half-track just got destroyed in the middle again by T-34 and AT gunfire. These two 85s have a very good chance of overwhelming everything in the middle. I think the Soviets may finally retake control of the central village with this engagement. Panzer IV is not available to support. Mortar half-track down. AT gun's gonna go down and all bunkers will be cleared. Linda is reduced to nothing but a machine gun and nothing, and just a machine gun. That's it. I feel like this is a bug in the UI. There's no, I don't need to know that there's one random dude retreating off the map. They could just
enemy is taking our territory.
Remove that. Just one of many little quirks of observer mode, I guess. T-34s will clear out everything here in the middle. Another light artillery barrage just got dropped. That one was probably a little bit naive. Everything that was defending here has been overwhelmed. Meanwhile, in the north, Penal Battalions have pushed back all defenses. Panzer IV is moving to try and reclaim that territory.
We have lost a squad. We are losing a sector.
Satchel charge. That Mark plus satchel damage. Oh man. Su-85 is on its way to try and finish the job on that Panzer IV. Might be able to take it out if it overextends itself. It does have access to repairs here, but it's going to be vulnerable. Su-85 moves up to take the shot. Can't quite get a line. Might be dangerous to chase, so it's just going to go back to safety. Meanwhile, over here, squads are forced to retreat, and Soviets will maintain control of the center village against very little opposition. More defensive mines being planted down here. That demo charge is still undetonated. To think, oh, that concentrated barrage. Oh man. Oh, you're right, Price. I need to be like sitting over here. That's weird. Why is my webcam off? Oh, my monitors. My computer monitor is all rotated strange. Thank you, Price. I don't know why that happened. That was weird.
The enemy is reduced to 200 points.
But yes, that concentrated barrage on the Panzer IV right there. That was good. Wiped all the Pios. A little bit of extra damage to the tank as well, and the Su-85 moved up to finish it off. Soviets get full control of the north, destroying all defenses in the area. T-34s have been repaired and move into the center. 40K has 1,400 manpower to spare as well. Not that much pop cap to spare. Enough that it might be worthwhile to spam a little bit more tier 2, like AT guns, for example, to fight the Tigers. I don't know. Obviously, so much manpower has gone down the drain for the Oster on bunkers, light vehicles, infantry losses, that their economy is not even close to being able to keep up with what they're up against right now. Is that the demo charge? Yes. I'm pretty sure that was a lot of infantry just got finished off down there by that demo. And apparently that's going to be the game. Finished it out with that glorious demo charge to annihilate all of Manrekk's remaining infantry except for one Panzer Grenadier. And even with the Tiger on the field, the Oster no longer think they can recover this game. Well, I definitely think this game pretty much came down to just spending way too much manpower on random non-units. Too many caches, too many bunkers. Probably worked better in a large team game, but in 2v2 I don't think it's worth it. Not quite worth it in 2v2. 40K, as usual, needs to spend her resources. And we saw some pretty fun stuff from Lumpy this game. We saw a nice takedown of a Tiger with the coordinated efforts of 3 different partisan squads, mark target, and 2 Su-85s to bounce that Tiger around the map and finish it off. So that was pretty cool. GG, Allies win.